Welcome to Night Bites. Welcome, friends. Welcome. Come in, as we bring you our Bringers of the Light, Dark Matters, Dark Shadows series. Night Bites, where we bring you little short storytellings about some of our darker, dastardly duos in the Bringers of the Light series. Now, these Dark Matters friends could have been Bringers of the Light in service to the light in this lifetime, but for whatever reason, they're serving the shadows. And slowly, however, the light tries to beckon them home again. And this really is a subtle part of our own journey where we visit and move about in the shadows at times, trying to find our way to more of the light. And I hope as we continue on with this Night Bites series that you will find friends with some of these foes. We've met a few throughout my book series. All of my Bringers of the Light series and all of my books are free to read, the ebooks, anywhere ebooks can be found. And these ones here are meant to be just short storytellings, not really books, more like a radio show. So get yourself, this would be something good to listen to at night, laying under the covers with a flashlight or something and some headphones. We'll try to do a little bit of ASMR whispers. Yes. Get yourself cozy, my friends. As we settle into this month's story from the Claudius and the West End Coven series, this is Maypoles and Cauldron Fire. Snack attack. Claudius was up late again, as if he ever slept at all. He's a vampire. You don't have him remembered, or you don't know him. The best he could do was get a few winks in his coffin before he had to get up again. And tonight would be especially delicious. He had to feed, and he needed to find something. It was a charm, and one that could keep him alive even in the brightest of daylight. He knew what the others thought of him, that he was a mean and uncaring vamp, the love 'em and leave 'em type. And most nights he would tend to agree. But there were times when he wanted something more than a bite and a one-night stand. He pushed that aside for now. He had business to attend to. He didn't like going out at this time, but it was necessary. If he were to find what he was looking for, he needed to find her. He thought he had seen her around town, but one could never be too careful. It was not all the time that such a fine woman would be here, in his town, for he owned the night here. It was his and his alone. He had earned it, and all the girls in the West End Coven had been his turns. That is, except for the one he had wanted the most, the one that got away. His mind went back to a hot, steamy party not more than a few years ago. He had turned her fast in the parking lot after he had seen her drive up on that sweet motorbike. He knew he didn't need another one to look after, but there was something about her. He couldn't get her out of his mind. It made even him hard and was a little more than he could handle. His blood got warm just thinking about her. Melancholy, the card had said. Just that one word and a phone number. He had never dialed that number, but he had wanted to many times. She didn't respect him like the others, but that's what drew him to her even more. She wanted no part of him, and he liked that. He pulled the blunt out of his lapel pocket, the dirt and sage strong in the hemp wrapper. He lit the tip and inhaled its strong, pungent smoke. He needed to go home, but it was hard to get back to his homeland on a whim, what with the travel restrictions going on right now. He could always teleport home, but what was the fun in that? He didn't meet anyone, and it was lonely just going it alone. Claudius picked up his phone and dialed the phone number to the Coven house. The phone picked up on the other end, and she answered. His queen of now. Tamara said hello as if she could care less. She had always been a little one-sided, mostly cared about herself, but one bite could have changed all that. Are you up for some company? Claudius said into the phone, blowing in the dust of thick sensuality and his best foreign accent. Who is this? She said. Do I know you? Quit being trite, Claudius said. You know darn well it's me, he said, blowing smoke into the microphone. Oh, Claudius. Hello, Tamara said, knowing she couldn't fool him for long. How may I be of service? The doorbell rang, and Tamara looked at the clock. Fashionably late again, she thought, knowing Claudius liked to make a dramatic entrance. The bell chimed again, and Tamara put her book down. How to Roast Someone in 5 Steps or Less was a New York Times bestseller, but Tamara didn't see the humor in it. She had roasted plenty of people, and it had taken all night sometimes. She was not amused. She rose, pulling her kimono around her tall frame and brushing back her shoulder-length blonde hair. She put some rosewater fragrance around her neck and under her breasts. She knew he liked to lick her there. The door opened on its own. And he entered. The room seemed to get larger around him. He had that effect on it and everyone he came into contact with. Younger looking than his 1,000 years, Claudius almost floated through the threshold. He never needed permission here. He had created this coven and bought the historic home straight out from under that historian lady. What was her name? Melanie von Pinkerton? She had wanted the house for some sort of ladies' group, a flower club or something. He would be darned if a women's club for flower enthusiasts would get the home. He needed it as a safe space. His last one had been torn down, and all the Coven girls turned back and sent packing. Those bringers of the light again. He couldn't seem to shake them, but he had done so this time. And the West End Coven, carefully disguised as Miss Youngblood's Home for Wayward Souls, had opened, and he had moved all the girls in, even bringing in his queen Tamara to run the place. He nuzzled her neck, and she flicked her wrist as the old phonograph turned on, and the vinyl disc turned against the needle as I Just Want to Make Love to You swirled around the room. They swayed together, and Claudius turned on the charm. Tamara could only resist for so long. He bit down hard, and she winced. He cupped her breast, pulling her onto the velvet duvet set out on the chaise in the sitting room. He could be suave and caring, he thought, as she moaned beneath him. Oh, Claudius, Tamara said, grinding into him. My queen, Claudius said, only half serious, as melancholy's face flashed before him. He didn't like that part of himself. He forced himself to remain present. What is love? Lights flickered on and off as the heavy thunder rolled outside. Claudius turned over and saw the clock. It was close to dawn, and he needed to get home. He had spent the night with the Coven girls, pulling in one at a time until he was satiated. Blood covered the front of his evening wear, and he felt giddy from it all. It wasn't the sex that turned him on the most. It was the feeling of the youth, the ability to remain this young for as long as he wanted, He liked romance like the next one, but he wanted the neck veins more than anything. After all, he had pledged his love once before, and it had only brought him trouble. He had decided to stick his neck out literally and figuratively. She had bit down hard and drank more of him than he had expected. He came hard that night, too, but when he woke, expecting to find her there and hoping to take her home and let her sleep in the soil next to him, she was gone. Nothing but a lipstick note on the napkin from the Dastardly Duo pub. He didn't like her lipstick color. It made his heart beat faster, and then he had needed to quell the erection again. He didn't even know her name, but in that one moment when their eyes met, he thought he knew all about it, how they would end up together. He had forgotten over the who knows how long, the hundreds of years of his life, that this is what had gotten him into trouble in the first place. He had worn his heart on his sleeve. Well, no more, he had vowed, and since then he only took on girls that held no real affection for him. That was until melancholy. He had to find her, he thought, as he pulled the card from his breast pocket. Tamara had showered and was shooing him out of her bedroom. She had a séance to perform. She pecked him lightly on the cheek, knowing full well he was the best lover she had ever known. She would never tell him that. Claudius hurried out of the Coven house into the dark interior of the car. His driver had gone home, tired of waiting, and the keys dangled in the ignition. Claudius roared the engine of the McLaren and was home in record time. Sinking his tired body down into the dank soil, visions of melancholy haunted his already haunted dreams. So friends, thank you for joining me for this little bite of sensuality and dark matters, shadows of the night, Claudius. So maybe next time when we catch up with him, we'll see if he's found that girl of his dreams and what they're meant to do together. Oh, now I have a wicked laughter. We will see all of you again soon. Take care. Stomach in knots? Go see Cassie at Chai House Tea Bar. Her special drink this month is a mugwort chai or a chamomile frizzle. Both are guaranteed to set your mind at ease and calm your tummy troubles. Chai House Tea Bar, where you'll find a drink for every occasion.